Welcome to the Freedom Property Podcast, the modern real estate brand empowering excellence. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. It's the Freedom Property Podcast show. We have in the building today, Mr. Pat Ivey. Welcome.
It's a privilege to be here. Thank you, Josh.
Absolutely stoked to have you here, mate. It's when I was thinking about bringing people on, you were one of the first names that came to my mind.
Mate, I'm pumped. I've listened to your podcast a couple of times.
Nice.
You've had some good characters in here and definitely some value-add tips coming your way, hopefully out of today as well, mate.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can find some good to talk about, eh? But Paddy, for the people that don't know you finished number 7 in Queensland at Harcourts last year, number 13 in Australia. You were was it REIQ Rising Star a couple of years ago?
Many moons ago, yes.
Yeah, there you go. So
I've got a few greys now.
Yeah.
Different vintage.
You are a licensed auctioneer.
Correct.
You do much auctioneers?
Love doing a lot of work with you as well, over the last few years.
Yeah.
Always enjoyed your in-room auction events.
Absolutely.
The framework that you work towards and how you got buyers there and your sellers was, certainly industry leading. So I was privileged to be involved with that too.
Are you running many auctions these days?
No, so I'm just doing real estate at the moment.
Yeah, which I think was the right move for you at the time. It was you were so busy and it was like something that had to give.
Juggling too many balls, why not make life more simple, less complicated?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've been watching your business grow over the last 5 or 6 years since I've known you, and I knew from an early age that you were going to have a big business in this career, in this industry. I think it's your personality and your energy is what's going to make you win in this business. Like where does this energy come from?
Well, routine, right? So making sure we're getting enough sleep, going to the gym, having really good structures at home, and having a bit of work-life balance is really important.
Nice.
Because we do 6 days in a row, right? Sunday you've got to protect, otherwise you're not going to be in a good headspace come Monday.
Absolutely.
And I take my hat off to people that can do all 7 days, but I know that I would be operating at a far higher level than those people doing 7 because I'm doing 6 proper days and 100% rest day, where I'm still accessible, don't get me wrong, but I'm not doing appointments on Sunday.
Absolutely not.
Always protecting that, feeling good for the week ahead. Mondays are always the biggest day because it's buyer callback day, right? And then all of a sudden you get 3 listing presentations on a Monday as well. So you're coming into Monday at 60%, not 110. You're already on the back foot, I find. But how do you go with energy management?
Again, I think it's sometimes in our personality, the way we are, when we're around people, because, you're a very much a let's build people up kind of a guy, and I try to be like that when I'm in the office here is, I try to keep my energy as high as possible. I want to rub that off through the whole team and keep everybody on track. But I'm just extremely motivated as well, which I know you are. That's when we met back in the day, I was just like, this guy gets it. You're like got a similar vibe. Like you're trying to achieve something. You're trying to chase this out. You're not just here just to sell a few houses. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to take this thing out.
We're here long term, and we want to be impactful. I think everyone. If you're in a crowd, you want to stand out from the crowd. So it's the over-servicing, it's the extra work, the 1%ers you do on top of others that makes you stand out. So it's nice to be acknowledged as well on that when you do go above and beyond for someone. Because I remember many auctions with you where we would try and really get the vendor the most amount of money and do everything we possibly could in front of the crowd, right?
There was some shocking ones, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was a lot of good ones.
A couple of crazy things that happened at our
negotiation auctions too, and which is good because
wasn't it?
This market we're in is more negotiation too. There's not as many on the markets. There's no block auctions at the moment. A lot of it is pause, take buyer aside, chat. Vendor here, buyer down here, trying to get to bridge a gap is very challenging in today's climate.
Definitely.
But, you've got the experience, much do I, and, we're definitely getting deals done. Personally, this month, we've got 13 properties under contract. So Don't get me wrong, December, January was very slow for us, and that was a buildup of 60-day stock that traded in March, but we still did 13 deals in March, and we're pumped about that.
That's awesome. Yeah. Our February was a little bit slower than I would have liked, and then, March exploded for us. And, we've getting back on the auction train, I think, is the key thing right now for us and for our business. And having that auction background as well. Like I'd like to see you do a few more auctions, I think.
I think I definitely will eventually. I'm carrying a lot of supply, and I can't do more than 12 open homes. I wouldn't be doing the right thing by the seller.
So, but what's your average days on market at the moment? Are they creeping up?
30 to 45, so they are creeping.
So you could probably reduce that by doing 3-week auctions.
Yeah, definitely. I thought you meant calling auctions, sorry.
Well,
but
yeah.
I definitely will get back to auctions as well. It's just I've had a few fall through, and that is a friendly reminder that we should be taking on unconditional offers to our sellers.
Yeah. Definitely. I think I was the one that said to you should get out of auctioneering. I was like, and just stop auctioneering, bro. Just be an agent. You know?
It's you're too good. I was driving. I remember a 9 o'clock open home, and then I had a 10 o'clock auction in the Redlands with someone like yourself. And then I would have my opens from 11 through to 2. Crazy. And then I would drive to Toowoomba to get to a 4 o'clock auction. And then I realized really quickly that life's too short. There's no point doing all this stuff and stressing ourselves out.
Absolutely. That was right when you were a young single man, but
correct.
Yeah, you now got a lovely partner.
Now I've got many things going on.
Absolutely. For the audience, like there's a lot of like younger agents watching this, and what does a normal day look like for you now in real estate?
Sure. So I'll make sure that I'm, getting back to emails and phone calls from anywhere from 7 o'clock through to 9, and then try to get in the office around 9:30 and make sure that I'm centered when I'm in there. So, I'm organized. I know what's ahead of me for the day in terms of presentations or, buyer work or seller work and who I'm meeting with that day. And then I guess from 9:30 till about 12:30 a.m. energy, right? We try and be on the phones.
Yep.
Booking appointments for the week ahead, and then in the afternoon doing appointments. So just try and keep a really simple structure of mornings in the office, afternoons out and about, meeting with people, face to face, or belly to belly, we now call it.
That's it, mate. That's it. And your team, like, how have you got that structured?
Sure. So I've got Julie that comes to me with most listing presentations and meets the sellers, and I've got Nico that does a lot more buyer work, REA inquiries, and also calling buyers from open homes with me. I'll make sure I also touch base with the buyers that are hot, ready to offer, and do all the negotiating. And then I've got Igor who's helping me get in more doors, but also following up leads that have come through, maybe the cracks, buy leads and stuff like that we've got to follow up, because people may call you on a Monday and say, I'm really keen on it, and then they won't action anything because buyers sometimes do not tell the truth. They're not 100% committed because they're shopping you around like, there's other properties on the market. So we make sure on the Wednesday they get a second round of callbacks as well through either Igor or Nico. And if they are really hot, then it's either Julie or I who will call them and take them through the property for a second look and try and get an offer. But I'll meet with all the sellers, with either myself or just myself and Julie. But we've got a pretty good structure, but always looking to improve as well, like, yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always get to that point where you're like, what else can we be doing to try and be up there with the top 10 in Queensland? We're a top 100 agent, but we want to be a top 10 like you guys, right? So what does that look like? And trying to unpack that and get in touch with more people. It's a contact sport.
And it's time as well, like it's time in the industry, time in the game, you just growing up as a person as well, like as I have over the years, like just naturally your business will grow. Yeah,
I just got to grab my mug from the Middle Ages and just have a quick sip here at Freedom Property.
Yeah.
It's all class.
I've got the jam jar. But like your business is one for the future. I'll be very surprised if there won't be a bigger agent than you in the years to come. I see this all happening for you and unfolding in a marketplace where it's not like that top premium price. It's a very good sort of range, where you can sell like a lot of these properties each month. It's such a great marketplace as is here.
It's that $750K to $1.25 million space that is still continuing to hum. Anything sort of above 125 seems to be slower, unless it's on acreage like it is out here, or if it's got a key line or something. But in town, we have done deals this week in the 3s and in the 2s. So the high end is still humming if it's, presented extremely well.
Nice.
However, if it's needing a little bit of work at the moment, it is tricky, I'll admit. But then units and townies are also flying. So it's also adapting to what is selling at the moment. And generally we've always been big house sellers in our area, but we're also covering that townhouse and unit market nicely and starting to get prestige properties as well.
Okay.
So we're really climbing up our median house price, which is exciting because we want to be playing in the, the top 10 space.
Yeah. I feel like I haven't been seeing you as much like on film on socials as much these days?
Well, I've just inked a deal with X Media, so we will be getting me back on film more and more. I'm on a monthly deal with those guys who will make sure we get more surfaced videos with ourselves in it, because I like what you guys do too, because it's really relatable and personable.
Yeah, well, that's what you are, because people will want to work with you or they want to meet you because of your energy. And like I've always said that, like if you can start telling people your story and start showing off who you are as a person, because you know how you used to do those videos where you like stand out the front of a sold house and you're like, this one's just sold for this one's just sold for this one I've just listed. Like those videos make you show off your personality, which definitely would get you more business.
Of course. I guess we just got so busy, Josh, which is no excuse, to create these, videos all the time. It requires so much time and energy, doesn't it? So you would know that firsthand. It's like it's another part to your role that's you're already overwhelmed with your job, and then you add this whole other element of marketing. But to be honest, it's your best return on investment because it is your personality that you're putting out there. It's not just a distribution of letters or DLs or anything like that where it's just static. And it's just boring, and every other agent's flogging that medium.
And anyone could do it as well. No one can be you.
Yeah, video is a medium that you're really showing off your true self. So stay tuned. You've really given me a fire up today to make sure I get back into it.
Well, that's what I want to see from you, to be honest. Like I want to see your business grow. Like it's it's been a business that I've always known is one to watch. And I feel like if you do get on camera more people are going to list their houses with you naturally. And when you say to me, I'm so busy, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, why are you so busy? You've got that much income coming in. You've got that many sales coming in. Let's set your team up the right way so that you're not busy.
Very good point. Yeah, I think it's just time management, hey?
Structure and systems. Yeah, you need to have a look into these systems, and we can dive into that. I'll spend some time with you one day if you ever want to.
Sounds good.
And have a look at your structure. And because I would like you to be freer to then
coming from the Rate My Agent #1 in Queensland, that means a lot. So I'd love to pick your brain and also unpack how you structure your team and who's doing stuff to free up your calendar so you can be doing more dollar productive things too.
Yeah, because that's where you need to stay. You need to stay in people's faces. Like if you're always top of mind because of who you are, they're going to naturally list with you. And you're probably getting business now from all these solid relationships that you've built probably through social media over the years. Like especially when you're at like restaurants and you're interviewing Elio or whatever his name is, the Italian guy or whatever, like.
You remember that? Yeah. 2016, 2017?
Yeah, like with like videos like that, like that's where I was like, this guy is going to kill it. Like these videos, they're so important for your business.
We have just ticked over 30% market share in that particular suburb of Carina Heights, and we've just put so much time and energy into building relationships with people and sponsoring community events and sponsoring local restaurants, cafes, the gyms. I've been, doing member of the month at the Snap Fitness and, all this stuff that we do and all the different, particular retail offerings in that suburb. And also schools is such a big play because a lot of other agents say, I'm #1 in Carina, but they're not actually giving back to the suburb. And, people don't really care what you say. You could say you're the best in the Brisbane.
Yeah.
People will probably try and believe you to an extent until they realize that, at the end of the day, it all comes back to trust. And if you're the most trusted agent in the suburb versus the #1 on paper, anyone can fluff that, but not everyone can actually be genuine and be referred to by a lot of families in the area. So, I think that that's a really big component of it as well, is having frequency, which builds trust, but also, which builds market share, which is the most important part of it.
Yeah, like you could employ like a videographer, like someone that just does videos, and they could just work for you full time. Imagine what would happen to your profile.
Which is kind of what I'm doing with the subcontracting to X Media, but yes, I know.
They don't have to shoot like your property videos. They could just shoot your you.
Yeah, just content internally,
literally,
vlogs and stuff like that.
Your team, non-stop, like every day, video going out about you, about the market. Could you imagine what would happen to
Imagine
your
all the unsubscribes though, Josh. People don't care that much.
Oh, but like at the end of the day, whatever. If they don't want to follow you, the quicker they get out of my emails, the better. If you don't like me, don't follow, don't watch. I don't care. But if you want to be friends with me, if you want me to be your agent one day, then stay tuned.
I love it.
But seriously, why do we worry about the ones that we're not going to get?
Yeah, definitely.
Seriously, just focus on the ones you are going to get.
Speaking of which, I mean, it's a tough game, right? I'll give you an example. We sold this property in Carina Heights, massive money on quite a busy road. And, the property has come on next door, very similar owner. And we didn't get the business second time around. And it absolutely breaks me because I know I did absolutely everything, went above and beyond, over-serviced, did everything I could. But sometimes you're just not going to get it second time round, regardless of what you've done.
Yep.
Maybe other agents have said other things around pricing and stuff like that, told them a lot higher, whatever, right? But it's challenging when you put so much into it to then not get business second time around with a particular client. How would you handle said situation? And have you had that before where you thought you're a sure thing and then it just pops up on REA? It's like, I wonder what else I could have done to help that person see the light, or have you not been in that position before?
Oh, look, when I was your age and I was very much like that. Yeah. I was like really like it would really affect me.
You'd be analytical about it, hey?
Yeah, like I would like see a listing pop up in my suburb of somebody else and I'd be like, even if I didn't know him, I'd be like, I am absolutely gutted about this. You know what I mean? I think
it's more so when you had that relationship though.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, if I had the relationship with someone, I'd just probably ask them straight up. Straight down the middle, like how can I improve? Like how have you not listed this house for me? Like where have I gone wrong? I just need to know so I can not do this again. And I would then really go in on that angle and but like you say, there's sometimes a reason. Maybe they bought that house off you and the oven didn't work and it's nothing that you would even know. But they've held this against you for like 5 years.
You never know, and you can't dig into it too much internally because you go mad if you overthink it. So I think that is part of the learning curve. I think how I've handled it has been as good as I possibly could. Years gone by, you throw your toys out the cot, right? But I think less is more and silence is powerful. But I think with other situations, it's just you've got to juggle as many balls as possible because you will lose business. It's the nature of the beast, right? But if you're juggling 20 listings at a time, one falls off, it's not the end of the world. If you're juggling one falls off, at the beginning.
It's always that one deal you're sweating on, that one go through and it's going to fall over if you're thinking about it too much, like anything. But like, what are your goals in real estate? Like you're an unbelievable agent right now, but what's your goals?
I think top 10 Queensland would be really cool across all brands, but I think getting to number one within the Harcourts network would obviously be very exciting as well. I think having share in a rent roll eventually, but also getting off the tools in 10 years, that would probably be the plan. A 10-year, gets us post-Olympics. I just think it's a very grueling game. And if you're in it too long doing what we do every single day, Wednesday broke me. Thursday, I was fully burnt out. I couldn't even move in the morning because Wednesday we sort of worked till 10 o'clock and got the big deal together in the threes, right? But if I was doing that for over 10 years, I don't think I'd be in a really good position with my mental health. So I can see this game is short sprints and setting up for the future with equity in the future or getting paid dividends through some other medium or having other business ventures. So that would be cool. So maybe thinking about something in the 10 years, but in the 0 to 10 year plan, it's just trying to be the best for my clients I possibly can be. And as a byproduct of that, climbing up the ranks a little bit more and seeing what is on offer.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. No, it's nice to know. Yeah, the real estate game is whatever you want it to be, really, I think, moving forward. I think that you could probably make this happen and achieve whatever you wanted to achieve over the next few years, I still think you could be the number one agent, but you could also create that residual income a lot quicker than what you think. Yeah. A lot quicker. And I think, you say these things to me about, work until 10 o'clock and all these things. I don't think like that anymore. You know what I mean? I would rather bring somebody else into my team and give them a part of your role to help you, achieve that work-life balance that we spoke about before. So you say you take Sundays off. What else are you doing for your mental health?
I'll go to the gym every morning and that is my outlet. Nice. And then I'll, get home most nights except for the 10 o'clock, which wasn't even like I wasn't out or anything meeting buyers. No. It was just docu-signing stuff and calling people around that time. So I think making sure I have a healthy dinner and having a bit of time with Michaela and also speaking to my family throughout the night time and stuff like that. Yep. Because through the day, I'm not really present to the moment, I've noticed. So I went to Eckhart Tolle last night and listened to him and he just talks about presence to moment, not thinking of the future or future deals or past, just getting out of that. And when you do feel an emotion, if you have the ability to actually identify that you're feeling a way is better than just saying, "Oh, I'm angry today," or "I'm jealous today," or I'm sad today." Instead, you should be saying things like, "I just had the feeling of sadness come about," or "I've just had the feeling of angst come about with this particular client." So if you can just identify how you're feeling, I think that comes back to like your breathing and your meditation and all that stuff too.
Yeah, nice.
I talked about yesterday briefly, I had a really bad day because I was just so burnt out. So I pulled up like a block away from the office and I just was not in the zone to work. Like I was just, my head was just pulsating. I had mad headaches. I'm like, did some breathing work. I just drove back home because I just wasn't in the zone. And I think being in the zone is really important.
Yeah, nice.
Following Matty Steinwade's stuff, he talks about frequency and getting in the zone all the time. And I'm starting to really get around that sort of, upper echelon of frequency and headspace, because in this game, you're going to get stuff go south all the time. And if you can, really navigate through that calm and collected, you win.
Yep.
You navigating through that and you're overreacting, it's really comes across poorly to the client.
Yep.
So it comes back to your work internally to handle certain situations like a renegotiation, or someone comes to you and says, "Oh, I'll offer 3.2," and then they say the next day, "Actually, we've had to think about it, 3,050,000 is where we stand." So how you handle that when you've already told your owner, might have something coming in at 3.1 to 3.2, and then you have to renege on something like that, makes you look piss poor. So if you don't know how to handle situations like that in this game because you haven't done the work on yourself, there's going to be a lot of stuff not go your way. Absolutely. Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah. Do you feel present right now?
I do right now.
Yeah, it's nice, eh?
Yeah, it's a good feeling.
It is. It's because we've been away for our phones from like 20 minutes.
So I haven't had my phone on me.
Yeah.
It's not buzzing in my pocket.
Yeah.
And I'm also with someone like yourself, and I want this to be a really good podcast and, try and bounce some ideas off someone like yourself who's doing a lot more business than I am. So I do really listen to your points, and I do value you as a mate too.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, mate. No, this is why I like doing these podcasts and like catching up with people like yourself, because we're literally going to sit here for like, 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever.
How long has it been so far?
I think we've been going for
16 minutes.
See, this thing flies, eh?
We're on fire.
But like we sit here and we just have a chat, and it's like we get that presence, and like right now you're probably not thinking too much about what your team's doing. You're like you're just here. And I sometimes do that before I go into like a listing presentation as well. Like I'll sit in my car, and I'll just just breathe for a bit, and then like when I'm in with my sellers, and I feel like the ones that I lose when I'm at a presentation is because I wasn't present, because I wasn't thinking about what's going on, and that was really clear to me when I had
So what you're saying is we've got to put the present in presentation.
Absolutely,
that's brilliant.
Nice. Yeah.
Okay, so I agree. Whenever I've, like on a Monday, it always happens to be the day of listing prezos when you've had 100 buyer calls and everything's going on. You're trying to negotiate 4 deals.
Yeah.
And then you do the seller meetings.
Yeah.
And then you do the LPs. It's like you're running on it empty, and you're also overwhelmed, which on the frequency scale is really bad.
Yeah.
You want to be excited.
Yeah.
So I think getting back to the excitement level by breathing and just getting it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think what we're talking about, people may go, "Oh, it's just, it's bullshit," whatever. It's not.
Yeah.
This is the key to making sure that you get people on side and excited to list with you or do business with you if they know that you're authentic and calm and good to deal with.
Yeah.
Because if they think you're flustered, they can sniff it.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
I think you need to get excited at the exciting moments, and I think you need to be pumped up and really enthusiastic.
Because no one wants to deal with a Debbie Downer either.
Hell no.
People like to deal with people that have high energy and also are going places and are ambitious.
Yeah.
They also want to deal with people, though, that they trust. And I mentioned that before. It's really important.
Yeah.
So that you've got to have that happy medium where you're not over the top salesy, but you're very direct, high energy, factual, and have a case that is really exciting to work with.
And I think as real estate agents now, what we're coming into is is a time where, like if you went to the doctor's surgery right now and you were like, oh, hey doc, like this is going on, you'd want to have somebody that was, calm and present with you, but you'd also want to have someone that knows what they're talking about, doesn't necessarily have to go through a flip book and like, an actual presentation about how to do things. Like you'd want to have someone there that knows what they're talking about, is calm, but enthusiastic about what can help you improve, like that sort of energy. And yeah, like I said before about that whole breathing space, like we're onto like a mental health podcast right now, but these podcasts, they go wherever, don't they? Like this is.
But I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
Answering your question.
Yeah.
Before about how you get in the zone or maintain energy.
Yeah.
It all comes back to that.
Yeah.
Physical activity and doing work internally.
Yeah.
And just making sure that you are surrounded by like-minded individuals that are happy to, I will often call friends on the coast or in Toowoomba or Sunny Coast or Brisbane, whatever, just to see how they're going, where they're at, just so I'm, if I'm feeling a little bit short on energy or motivation or whatever I'm lacking, I will find it through other friends like yourself too, because we need to make sure we're all in this together.
Yeah.
And we're not in competition with each other, so that's even better.
Yeah.
We all want to see each other win.
Absolutely.
And I think that's really important because, we can get beaten down so much in this role.
Yeah.
And plus the public hate you too. Well, not anymore. Like we've built such a good brand where people see that we're doing quite well and we have been very consistent. Even though if they don't want to use me and they want to use someone else, they respect that we do well. So whereas when you're starting at the infancy of your career, no one likes you and you're not doing well, it's really hard because at the end of the day, you're putting leaflets in letterboxes and you're annoying people with cold calls. But then you build a brand and a reputation, and consistency breeds, again, trust, which then gets you families talking about you. You get into more doors and things start happening for you. It's like the pendulum swinging back at the beginning and then it just falls forward so hard with momentum that it's hard to stop the momentum. It's like a big snowball down a hill.
Yeah, and I love that. And there's so many agents right now with the time that we're in, but they've gone through this crazy big market where everything was just like, you look at a house and it's sold, like, whereas now they're taking a little bit longer, they're harder to get, there's less market listings coming on.
Impulsivity, doesn't it? Our patience levels are very thin, but again, there's no pushiness in this market. You can't push someone into a deal, and we would never do that. But it's just like if you push, they're going to push back too hard. So if you say, oh, you got to make an offer today, it's got to be so, let's get you to buy it, you're the buyer. No, wrong way to go about it. The best way to go about it is suggesting to them that you have other interest in the house, which you should. Shouldn't lie, don't fabricate. But I'm just saying, remind them of other interests, remind them of motivation from vendor, and then it should happen for you if they're the right person. I've had someone all week, it's now Friday, but from the Monday right through to the Thursday say, I'll offer. I'd sent through the DocuSign. One of them had signed, the other one hadn't. And I didn't push too hard, but I did just touch base with them and follow up the DocuSign and just see how they're going. And hey, they just pulled out and said, look, sorry, but we've found something else. We're going to buy something. And the poor owner on the fourth day, because I'd had to lead them along, because every day the buyer would say, I'll get it to you.
Yeah.
But buyers can sometimes be liars, but as can vendors. So there's no hard feelings. It's just the nature of the beast. You cannot take things personally.
Yeah.
It is a very competitive space, whether you're pitching for someone's business as a listing or whether you're trying to promote your vendor's property to a buyer because they're looking at 5 other homes that Saturday. It's competitive, but don't be pushy and just come from a good place with really good energy and things will just happen for you.
Seriously, no, they will. So stay on track, stay focused, don't give up, just keep going, because as bad as this week is sometimes, how good's next week going to be? You know what I mean?
If I could get through my Wednesday, I'm going to get through anything.
Yeah, nice. That's so good. But the answer to your other question there, the other problems there might be an auction. Put an end date on it. And then the buyers will have to hurry up.
Auction is action. Look at him.
Yeah. No, I love the auctions, and that's how we met. So, it's a great process, and I was at the Tesla conference a couple of days ago.
How was it?
It was awesome. Yeah,
awesome.
It was good. Yeah, and Brian White spoke, and he spoke on auctions and leadership, and auctions how timeless they are, and just they were the best method of sale 200 years ago. They're still the best method of sale now. It's it's an arena. The competition creators, they call themselves at Ray White. So yeah, and that's what we are, agents. We're we deliver the facts like doctors. We're professional business people. We get excited and enthusiastic when we need to, but we put the right systems in play. And I think for you right now, your business, I reckon it could go double again. Like your business has doubled in the last few years, and you got such a great business. And I'm like, ooh, this thing could absolutely blow. It's like add the right people into your team, and they're doing exactly the right things that they need to do. I reckon there is no stopping Pat Ivey.
We'll see, Joshy. They're very big words, I want to play it down. I want to fly under the radar. Do you know what I mean? I don't need to be up in lights. I'm just a community man living in my community, shopping at my IGA, getting my hair cut by my Carina barber, and I'm very happy. I'm content.
Yeah.
But I'm just happy just flying, because I know in the future that if we continue to just each year grow a little bit by bit, in the future we'll build something really special.
Absolutely. Well, we'll get you back on this show in a couple of years' time, and we'll see what it looks like.
Yeah, 10 years' time.
Yeah.
See if I've got a few extra grays. No, I really appreciate it.
Awesome.
It's been a bit of fun. I feel like we went into a few avenues but was cut short a little bit because we could just dive down a rabbit hole too much. So I'm glad we brought it back to where we're at and the dot points because I feel like we've covered off a few things, but could have gone a lot deeper.
And we will, and we can, and we will do that on another show. I think like it's good
if we still have anyone still listening, because I might have put them to sleep. My apologies.
No.
Thankfully, we got this man here to wake him up.
Absolutely. No, we appreciate you, mate. We appreciate everything. So thank you. Legend.
Thanks, brother.
Awesome. See you next time.